Welcome to the Ant Hill. I made an intro for the Ant Hill. It's another episode of the Ant Hill, and the ants are watching my show. Let's go ahead and get the episode kicked off, and we could talk about all kinds of stuff like that.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Let's get it.
All right. You I don't know. So are you from here in Virginia?
Yeah, actually, I was born in D.C. and was raised in VA my whole life. Yeah, I lived in Northern Virginia for a long time, like the first 21 years of my life, and then came down here to go to school. Right, like I grew up kind of like in the hood, so I really wanted to get out of it. I was like that kid in every movie, and
What part of Northern Virginia?
um, so it was called Woodbridge. It's called Woodbridge.
When you said you lived in the hood, I was gonna say you must have lived in Woodbridge.
Yeah, yeah, but I'm talking about Woodbridge before it was gentrified, though.
Yeah, like
Like,
Dale City with all the Mexicans.
yeah, where MS-13
That's
really started.
I lived there for a
Yeah,
year.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I grew up there, man. In Marumsco Village,
Yep.
in Occoquan, and that was across from another hood called Greenwich Hills.
Okay.
And you never think that the Greenwich, anything called Greenwich, you think is nice, but it really wasn't. It was row homes, and a lot of my best friends that I'm still best friends with came from there, actually.
Right.
Yeah, so like growing up, it's like you can't really fuck with each other because you live, and literally it's separated by one street.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, you claim Greenwich or you claim Ormsco, and you can't really kick it with each other like that, or even go through the neighborhoods without a hall pass. You know
Damn,
what I
dude,
mean?
that's
Like,
crazy.
yeah, like if someone in the neighborhood caught you in there, they're like, okay, well, who said you could come here today? Who you seeing today?
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Right.
otherwise, you would get jumped more than likely.
Damn, that's crazy,
Yeah.
dude.
So, but you grow up, and then you kind of go head to head in basketball and football, and then but you go to the same schools too, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you end up befriending. I ended up befriending a lot of the guys in there, and then as we get older, that whole this hood clique thing just kind of faded away.
Right.
But it was still kind of the hood, though.
So when did you move here, like to the 757?
I was like 20, 21, and I came to go to Norfolk State. I went to Norfolk State for a few years, and was working at a TGI Fridays too.
Okay.
And that was tough, man. So I ran out of money, so I ran out of school. 2 years into a psych degree,
Yeah.
and just been working ever since, man. I got caught in that trap of work and was like, college ain't paying the bills, bro.
I hear
what
that.
mean?
I hear that.
So I just started working, man, and just been at it ever since.
Okay. Well, by this point, I know I'm like a terrible podcast host, but by this point, I guess the people should probably know, who we got today. Go ahead, introduce
Yeah,
yourself to
man.
the folks.
My name is Bayoan Malave, here with the Ant Perez on the Ant Hill podcast, man. It's
That's
a
the
clever
one.
name, too, for it, by the way, man.
Yeah.
It makes you think like there's a colony of people inside of this podcast.
I may or may not have been called a colonizer a time or two.
Which is trippy, right? Because you're like Puerto Rican, too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you're like half Puerto Rican?
1/4.
Okay.
Yeah, 1/4. My grandpa, he's from Puerto Rico. He immigrated here from Ellis Island back. I don't know when would they be like, you join the military, you could be
Right.
here. So he was like, I'll do that.
Oh, man, funny story. That's how my dad got here. He
Hell yeah.
joined the army at like 17, didn't speak a word of English,
Okay.
and was like, fuck it, man. If I stay here on the island, because if you spoke to your granddad any, you know that the economy there is worse than here.
Right.
So it really is worse there. And my dad's like, fuck it, I want a life, dude.
So where is that? You said the island. Where's that?
Oh, Puerto Rico. Yeah.
Oh, you're Puerto
yeah,
Rican.
My family's from Puerto Rico too, man. They come from Ponce.
Oh,
Like
okay.
bottom middle of the island, like literally on the water type shit.
That's cool,
Yeah,
man.
man. Like they go back. So like funny story, like apparently my granddad was like a runaway slave,
Okay.
They
had-
like back in the
Puerto
early,
Ricans were slaves?
Yeah, bro. Like people don't realize like
I didn't
all that
know
shit
that.
all that shit comes from like Puerto Ricans were originally like Indian. Like you seen Apocalypto?
Nah.
Oh man, great
I'm so
movie.
reliable for like if you ask me if I've seen a movie, it's probably no. Unless it's like a Sandler film, I probably haven't seen it.
So there, I mean, we're talking like, I don't know, banana leaf skirts, you know what I mean, type shit
Right.
back in the day. But they're originally like Aboriginal Indian, and during the Columbian Exchange, when slaves were being brought over, this is when the Spanish raped Puerto Ricans, gave them Christianity. You know what I mean? Blacks were mixed with Puerto Ricans, and essentially Puerto Ricans as a people are black, native, like Native American,
Right.
and Spanish. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's a funky mix in there, man.
Damn.
But, yeah, and that's cool, man. And that's why I think a lot of people that are Puerto Rican are proud because they know, like, damn, we were raped and we were slaves too. You know what I mean?
Damn, dude. I'm just proud of my Puerto Rican heritage because I can't be like I'm proud to be white. So I got something I could,
Yeah.
I
Something you
got
can
something
fall
I can
back
hang on to.
Yeah. My kids are half white, half Puerto Rican. You know?
Okay.
But their nationality is Puerto Rican.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
I tell 'em,
exactly.
that's
Why not?
what you are. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Do you want these federal grants or not?
right, exactly.
No.
And not that there's anything wrong with white people,
Just playing.
you know, but they got a pretty dark history.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
I
so,
got you.
but it's like you can play the privilege card, but you really can't because my kids, they don't really look white. You know what I mean? So they definitely look mixed. And I mean, that's cool. I got what I wanted out of that whole deal.
Yeah, I hear you. Are you still with their mom?
Yeah, man. Me and her mom, shit, man. So I really have 3 kids, right? My wife, Tracy, had Chloe when we first met.
Okay.
Chloe was like 2. Tracy was getting out of a marriage. And so Chloe's had 2 dads like her whole life. She's 17 now.
Right.
You know, so I've been raising this girl for like 15 years, co-parenting with Tracy and her dad, Chris. So I have Chloe, and then I have 2 blood kids, Yukibo and Santiago. Those are my kids.
At the end of this episode, I'm gonna guess your age.
Okay. You can guess it now, man. Fuck it. Like, I honestly think I'm one of the oldest guys.
There's so many details that you know what I mean.
Yeah.
When you walked in the door, I'm like, this dude could be between like 27 and 43.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. But yeah, I'm still with their mom, man. You know, I was kind of raised old school. Like I saw my parents stay together until my mom died of cancer.
Yeah, that's cool.
You know, and saw as a kid, you don't realize, man, like how much your kids really do see. You know what I mean? Because think back
Yeah.
to like when you were a kid.
Right.
All the shit that happened between your parents that they didn't say, you still saw that.
Yeah.
And you may have never spoke on it, but as an adult,
You're
like,
still present.
yeah, yo. And so, you know, I saw my parents fight. I saw good times. I saw bad times, but they stuck it out regardless.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that kind of was ingrained in me. So
Right.
I'm kind of like a till death do you part kind of guy too.
That definitely has a lot of value to it.
It does statistically, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Kids for the kids.
My parents, they broke up when I was like 16.
Right.
And I didn't make it till my kids were 16 with my kids' mom. They're 8 and 5.
Yeah.
And we haven't been together in years, Dame.
That's crazy.
Years.
You know. You know, I think about what life could be like, man, without having my kids in my life every day, and I just don't think I could do it, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I obsess over my boys mainly because like they're all I got.
How old are they?
8 and one's turning 4 this month. No,
Oh,
9,
okay.
9 and 4.
That's
this
almost
month.
the same thing I got.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, that's cool. Yeah, that's one of the things that I've thought about, like, as I get more into comedy and stuff like that, there's going to come a time where it's like, I got to move. I'm like, dang, that's going to be, like, the hardest part about that is going to be not seeing my kids on a weekly basis.
Yeah, man. I know. Me and my wife have talked about it too, and it's one of those things that can really drive a wedge.
Right.
In a number of relationships, you know, but at the same time, like when I first met my lady, I was actually planning on moving to Australia
Okay.
with my best friend, right? Because we were like bartending at the time.
That's cool.
I had dreads and shit, right? So I was cleaning up, you know what I mean, with the ladies.
Yeah.
And we were like, here's what we're going to do, man. We're going to fucking go to Australia. And because Australian men treat their women like shit, they're going to fucking love us. We're going to be bartending. Right? Like, we're going to fucking clean house.
Yeah, dude.
Right? We're like, we're going to get all the pussy, right?
Yeah.
And
all you're going to do is hold the door.
right, exactly. And we'd serve drinks because
Yeah.
Fridays had this whole program where they call it passporting.
Okay.
So you could just passport from one to another if there's open slots. But then I met my old lady, right? She came into a Fridays where I was working, and we started rapping, man, and the rest is, as they say, history. You
Right.
know? And
They got TGI. Oh, no. You didn't go to Australia.
I didn't. But, you know, with comedy, you know, like there are a lot of you guys, man, are getting a really good traction, and I love seeing that, and it pushes me to want to do more and write differently too.
Yeah,
You
for
know what
sure.
I mean? Because I'm like, okay, I have a style that works, but I need like a fucking formula. You know what I'm saying?
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's really hard. I don't even know if I have anything to say like on that because I'm still figuring it out, you know? Like
No
I'm still
doubt.
like even every 3 months, I think 3 months ago I sucked at this. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's so weird and like I'm always like figuring stuff out and like I was listening back like mind you I've been doing it for like 2.5 years and I was listening back to a just one of my sets the other day and I was like, damn, that was a good transition. It's like I don't have many of those. I'm like
Yeah. People don't realize how much we analyze our own shit,
all the time.
and it's like, it's like it's fun and not fun at the same time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you're like, all right, I'm writing this shit that I think is funny. I'm gonna go out here and test it out, right? And I think most of us test it out like not for the sake of like ego, because we love to get a laugh, but at the same time, it's like, is this shit gonna play?
Right.
It's more like mathematics to us,
Right.
and I'm having a lot of fun trying to figure that out. But I like to look up to, like, I mean, there are a lot of you guys, man, that are killing it, man. That I love your styles. You know what I mean? Like everybody's got a style. That's what I like. Like in the 757, it's real diverse
It is.
with
I
the
agree.
group of guys, and them's that we've got coming out, right?
Right.
Like everyone's got their own style, and it's so cool to see that, man. And I'm loving to see people grow and move, because it's like, yeah, man, hometown. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And it's cool because you kind of like you definitely get a good mix in this area as far as like just different stuff people think and like different stuff people want to talk about or how they kind of write what they're catering their
Yeah.
audience to be. Like it's pretty crazy, yeah, when you see and you can really try to learn something from everybody because everybody's got their target audience or whatever, and it's kind of like like what makes these jokes land with these people, and you can
Right.
kind of I don't know, in a way you can sort of use it as a guide to like send more jokes like right down the middle instead of being like, well, I've got this one joke that half the people hate every
Right.
time.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. I've got this Confederacy joke that you've heard, man, that tends to usually play, but sometimes might not. Depending
Yeah.
on where
yeah,
where I'm at. But I recently added to that joke, and that worked, and I was like, okay. Do you know who Jose Roman is?
I've heard of him, but I don't think I've ever actually met the guy.
Yeah, so he's a good dude, man. What's up,
Cool.
Jose? He gave me a really good piece of advice when I first started out, because he actually introed me the very first time I ever did stand up. And like you, have gone back and I've watched some of those
Right.
shows, and I'm like, oh my god, that shit sucked.
Oh
like,
yeah.
like, God, you were terrible. Your timing, like everything, And it's cool to see your own self grow. But he told me never throw away a joke, like
Yep.
ever.
Yeah.
Just rework it. You know what I mean? And I pulled out a Star Wars joke from like my very first show, and that's recently come back into the mix, and that worked pretty good. Like
Cool.
that jam.
Yeah. And that's the thing, like it's not like when you thought of it as 2 years ago, you probably didn't think incredibly different than you think right now. So it's like if you thought something was funny, maybe you just didn't know how to write the joke out, but it doesn't mean that what you wrote, like whatever you had in there, like something in there was funny, right?
Right.
So it's just figuring out how to deliver that to everyone else. Yeah.
Exactly.
I've got this thing with I have like I don't have the video from everything, but I have the audio from a lot of my sets, even dating back to when I first started doing comedy, and
Yeah.
it's all so bad, man. It's so terrible. But I tell myself I can't delete these audio recordings without at least listening to them, because maybe there's something in there where I'm like, man, what a bad joke on a good premise. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you,
yeah,
you
absolutely.
never know when you'll come across something like that.
Yeah.
But the thing of it is, like, when I go back to listen to them, they're all so old that, like, they're not physically on my phone. They're in the cloud. So I have to download this 7-minute video from the cloud, and then I have to listen to it. So, like, to take 15 minutes, like half the time to like download this clip, because for some reason it goes slow. I know this. It's a brutal process.
Right.
And then to go back and listen to something that's 7 minutes, and like 2 minutes in, I'm like, I'm fucking done with it. He's not going to say anything funny. Like,
boo this man.
Yeah, dude. I'm like, man, can someone give me the light, please? God, this guy's running the light. Just let your guest talk.
I remember coming across this random thought. It was butthole snorkel,
Okay.
right? And so when I'm going back through my list, because sometimes you only have a second to write a joke while you're doing something.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
and that was like your reference
That
for
was
it?
my reference for it. I was like, butthole snorkel. And it took me a good 2 years to figure out where the fuck I was going with this joke, right? And I remember thinking, okay, I must have been thinking to myself, like, have you ever seen a girl who's like so fine, you would literally suck a fart out of her butt?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, does every guy
I mean,
have
no,
that
but
one?
yeah.
No, right, exactly. But they would get the reference, like, because it's gross and funny,
Yeah.
you know?
I got you.
But I don't think I have that person.
Wait, so that's what you wrote. You wrote butthole snorkel.
Butthole snorkel, because it would almost be like you just...
You came back to your notes. You're like, I don't know what this means. And after 2 years of pondering this thought, you were like, I know what this means.
Yeah. Maybe subconsciously there's like someone out there who's fart I would suck out, but probably not. You know? But the thought is, I think we've all seen that one chick that's like so fine. We're like, God damn.
Yeah,
You know what I
dude.
mean? Like, if I was tossing a salad and she farted, I wouldn't even be mad.
I got you.
You know?
I mean,
maybe not.
that's why I don't eat. That's why I don't eat. But that's why I don't do it, man. Because I wouldn't want. Oh, for one, you know what I mean. But I wouldn't want to get my tongue pooted on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. My wife's not with it, and that's cool. I'm cool with that ultimately too. You know.
One time, this girl she took a swipe. She was down there and hit one of those real quick, and it kind of tickled. Like I almost pinched her nose with my butt. Like, you know when you're younger, people like got your nose. Like I almost did that with my cheeks. And I thought, I was like, this is dangerous. Like if that tickled anymore, I could let one loose in her face. I'll never do this to anyone.
Yeah. So now somehow I've got to work butthole snorkel into my routine somewhere because I wrote it down.
Yeah.
You know, so it's got to get used at some point somehow.
No, dude. I've got like 1,400 notes in my phone, and you hear me do like 8 jokes. I have so much, but that is the thing though. I don't delete it. I keep it all in there. There's some that I've gone back to, and like I look at it, and when I think about it, I'm like, no, this is definitely not funny. There's only been a few of them like that though. It'll just be something where I'm like I'll get really high, save something in my notes. Next day I look at it, I'm like, nah.
Yeah. You're like, where was my mind even at with that?
Right, exactly.
Man, I got this joke about how our phones are always listening, and
right.
And it's sad because it's so true. Like we think we have privacy and we really don't. Like I've been talking to my wife about how I think I need therapy. You know what I mean? Which as an adult, I think I'm okay admitting like, yeah, I think I need someone to talk to because I think I'm a little fucked up. You know what I mean? Like I think most comics are fucked up. We're either depressives, like introverted extroverts where we really don't want to fuck with people until it's time to showtime.
Yeah.
And we usually only like click with other comics, people that get where we're coming from. Because it's like when you're in that world, man, no one can really understand what you're going through.
Right. Yeah. It is crazy. Like a lot of how many comics are actually like really introverted. Like, and then a lot of people like, I don't know, I wonder, there's probably some people that think I'm just like a dick because I haven't talked to them, but it's like, nah, bro, this podcast is me stepping like well out of my comfort zone. Cause like, I don't really know you at all, dude.
Right.
Like that's the purpose of this. Like get people on and like whatever, just like have some type of platform and have people come on, talk about whatever we talk about and whatever. Maybe you'll come away from this. Maybe you'll come away from this and write a fire butthole snorkel bit. I don't know. You know what I mean? But like,
I know. I almost feel like I have to at this point.
Give it a go.
You know
man.
what I mean? Why not exercise the muscle? But no, I feel like I used to be extroverted because I was a bartender.
Okay.
I loved being the center of attention. And when you bartend, it's kind of like a show too.
Right.
And at TGI Fridays, you're required to flare and shit,
I got you. It is a bit of a show.
It is
it?
a bit of a show, And then on top of that, I mean, you drink, there's so many different kind of bartenders out there.
Yeah.
And some that you're just like, oh man, fuck this guy or girl. You know what I mean? Like,
Sometimes, yeah.
They're not even like, even what you expect of a bartender. They're like,
You're right though, because everyone loves a good bartender.
yeah.
Like if you have really good bar service and like they're hooking it up and whatever.
Yeah. And that's who I was, man. Like I love talking to people because, at the end of this all, right, it's like the experiences that we've had are all we get to take with us. You know? And as a bartender, you meet so many people every day.
Yeah.
From different walks of life, and they have different stories. Man, I remember talking to a guy who was like mad young, but like almost went to World War II and was telling me what life was like during that time. And I was like, yo, that's fucking insane, dude.
Yeah.
Like you've seen some shit, like, and you meet so many people. Like I remember Pernell Whitaker, rest in peace, man. I used to bartend on him.
Yeah.
He would come into the Green Turtle, and this is a dude that I grew up watching box, right? And as a kid, when you grow up kind of in shitty areas. And
Who was this guy? He was a boxer?
Yeah, Pernell Sweet Pea Whitaker.
Okay.
Yeah, man. And he was amazing, man. He was from, I think, D.C. originally, but moved down here. And he would come into the bar and, you realize the celebrities are just people at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And he was on his later half, man. And what's even more fucked up is he got hit by a car, man. And that's what killed him.
Oh, no. He was old?
He wasn't even that old, man. I think he was like maybe late 50s, early 60s. But
dang, that's crazy.
Just take him before his time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was cool to rap with that dude and talk boxing with him. And
so when did he box? Like the 50s or not the 50s, I'm sorry,
like
the 90s.
The
is what I meant to say.
Yeah, I'd say like the 90s was his prime.
Okay.
Boxed for a while though, but I just loved meeting a lot of people, man. And honestly, I feel like with comedy, it's more about meeting other comics because you don't meet your audience. You know what I mean? Generally speaking.
I guess you're right, because anytime there's an audience that like really wants to meet you, like it's just to tell you were funny, maybe take a picture, follow you on social media.
Right.
You don't follow them back. You know what I mean? It's, This is kind of a you thing. Like, it's
exactly. It's like I did all the work,
Yeah.
But no, honestly, like you're saying, like it's cool to get to know the guys that you're telling jokes with.
Right.
Because as you go through this journey, right? And I told myself realistically, it would probably be even 10 years before anyone even gave a shit who I was.
You're talking about in comedy?
Yeah, in comedy.
I've said the same thing.
You know what I mean? Like I wasn't giving myself any false hope that, like, you're not going to be even partly shit for at least a decade, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I've told myself, like, ever since I started, that doing comedy would basically be kind of like a 10-year project, Because it's like, it takes, if you never switch your degree and you go to get, like, a doctorate in college, it's going to take you 8 years. Everyone switches their degree. You know what I mean? Like, it takes time to kind of find yourself. So, it takes about 10 years. You know what I mean? So, it's like, to really, really, really get good at something. Now, if I'm just, like, not doing well 10 years in, it'll be really time to think about everything. But
yeah. And man, that's why I'm just like trying to get into voiceover work. Like, you know how it is. It's like as many hustles as you can get.
Right.
Multiple revenue streams, because I mean, even though our dollar's about to tank with all this BRICS nonsense going on, about that. That's insane, man. With what's happening, like.
Well, hey, that's why oftentimes I do comedy for 2 drink tickets and a comp meal. Don't give me that money shit.
Yeah.
I want some steak.
Yeah, man. As the episodes that I've watched these, I've always asked myself, like, why don't you put like a Thundercats poster, on these walls or something?
It's gonna end up popping up one of these days. I want to get the anthill, like the logo for it. I want to get it like blown up. There's already a hook there, so you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that would be dope. This has a real like Wayne's World kind of feel.
Yeah.
Minus the throw blankets and shit. Like I remember watching the show. I'm like, okay, I know these guys. These are funny guys. I'm watching these episodes, and I'm like, as I'm watching it to myself only, because again, I was like, that's a very rapey looking, like, dude, background.
You have no idea what happens to every guest when the camera's cut off. Like
if these walls were darker, I would almost feel like something was gonna happen.
Nah, dude.
No, but it's actually, a quaint little setup.
It's cool. I mean, it's a small little spot. Like, it's not
There's an orchid in here, in case you guys don't know that.
There is an orchid.
So it's nicer than you think.
That is my girlfriend's. It's on her desk. She's got a globe in here, too, which is, I mean,
Yeah.
It's pretty top notch.
And it's not even your standard globe. It's like a Halloween orange globe.
Yeah.
It's like
It's crazy that she
Sepia.
has all that stuff in the room on a podcast that I record, and this still looks just like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you can probably guess what my bed frame looks like from this podcast.
Is it like Adirondack? Like
I don't
is
have a
it
bed
metal?
frame.
Me neither. Like
I got a box spring.
yeah. Nah, we just don't believe in headboards, man. You know, it's too much noise. Well, I do have like at the head of my bed though, I have this sick ass like 3D tapestry.
Okay.
Right? It's like these seahorses and shit. And if
Right.
you put these 3D glasses on, it'll trip you the fuck out, man. It's like
That's
these
cool.
seahorses are in the fucking clouds, and there's like dark colored rainbow
And this is where at? This is
at the head of my bed. So instead of a headboard, it's like a tapestry type deal.
Oh,
But it's like
okay,
this trippy
okay.
ass, dope ass picture with red, blue, yellow, turquoise, and black. And my room
Yeah.
is painted like yellow and moon gray. So it's like a really big color thing going on
That's cool.
in my house, man. Yeah, like all the rooms are a different color.
Yeah.
And man, that's just kind of one of the little beauties of home ownership, man.
Right.
You know, being able to do what the fuck you want.
Dude, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll come over, man, one day, you know, because legit, with something like this, man, where you're getting to know people, it's like, well, who do you let into your home? And that's why I meant to tell you, thank you for letting me into your home, man.
Yeah,
'Cause you
dude.
can't just let everybody in your house, man.
Yeah, she
Some people
told
are
me
fucking
that. She
weird.
was like, because I was like, I think I'm gonna do the podcast in this room. She was like, don't bring fucking weirdos in my
Right,
house.
exactly. and you have to consider that because, like, that's your old lady. You're like,
Yeah.
yeah, last thing you want is a fucking devil's reject situation.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of people in the comedy scene, like, they're generally good people. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's even for like comics that I haven't like spent as much time or like haven't really had a whole bunch of conversations with, it's still I don't know. Like if I see you at Mike's, like you know what I mean. If you're not a problem at Mike's, why are you gonna
Yeah.
come over to my house and be a
And
problem?
be a problem, yeah.
So
No, man, I don't think I've met any comics that like I haven't like meshed with. Like no one's really rubbed me the wrong way.
I have,
Yeah.
and they have.
I haven't, and it's honestly, I think because like we talk, like I keep myself. I don't really click up, you know.
Yeah. You just keep it moving. You come across
Yeah.
someone and you're like, man, that guy's kind of a dick, or you know, whatever it
Yeah.
may be. You just keep it moving.
Exactly, but I still enjoy everyone for who they are, man.
Yeah,
and that's because that's like everyone is who they are.
Right,
You know
right,
what I mean?
right.
And you got to expect people to be exactly who they are, man.
Right.
Because they're showing you behind the
Especially
scenes and on stage.
especially in like an art form that requires you to be yourself.
Oh yeah, man.
Just be, you know,
Absolutely.
whoever that is, you be yourself, and if there's a following for this, they'll watch. I mean,
Yeah. I remember when starting comedy, man, like some of my friends were like, why don't you do the whole TikTok thing? Which I don't have a TikTok account, again, because I'm just terrible with social media. But I told myself, like, nah, man, the reason I want to do comedy is because I want to be right there. Like, in the shit. Like, it's so easy to hide behind the camera and be funny. Like, if you don't get the reaction firsthand, it's almost not worth doing it for me. You know what I mean?
I get that.
So
I should have said that in the mic. I get that.
and that's what it's about, man, is just laughter, man. I love to make people laugh because ultimately, like, have you seen the Martin Lawrence special, You So Crazy?
Oh man, it's been some time, but yeah.
Yeah, so that wasn't the first comedy special that I saw. I remember, seeing some Red Fox, some Pryor, and
Okay.
Sinbad, you know what I mean, who I thought was hilarious, man, back in the day. But the Martin Lawrence special, man, just really blew my mind because even though they all controlled the room, there was just something about that special where it's like,
Right.
yo, this dude is being his pure self and is making everyone laugh, right? And
Right.
I think as like, someone who can be depressive, right? I think a lot of us are because we really want shit. As
Yeah.
dreamers, we really want shit.
Yeah.
You know? Damn, man, I lost the point. Some good weed, bro.
You want to hit it again?
No, because it's got me fucking up.
Well, if you hit it again, maybe it'll come back.
Oh, no, here's the point. When you're making people laugh, it's impossible for them to be sad at the same time.
Yeah. Okay, that's true.
You know what I mean? So in essence, if I can make people laugh, and that's why getting a big laugh is so great because it's like everyone is happy.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I did that.
You never see sad people clapping.
You don't. I mean, unless they're like, now that would be something to make a sad person clap.
Imagine
crying.
gathering together like, we're here to celebrate the life of such and such.
Right.
Thank you for coming to his funeral. Give it up for yourselves.
Right.
What are they gonna
That would be great, man. That would be great. No, that would be honestly the best funeral ever. Think about it.
Dude,
Funeral turn comedy show?
I'm gonna do that.
I'm
gonna get my funeral license, whatever that is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that.
And just roast the dead person. They can't even defend themselves.
Yeah.
So they're really burning.
Dude, yeah.
But no, yeah, I mean, a comedy show at a funeral, it's like, I don't know. And people believe different things too, you know? Like, you could believe in the afterlife. And, I mean, I feel like I've seen enough to know that it doesn't just end here, you know?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, there is something else, whether it's energy or you go back into the void or if you go to a heaven or whatever. There really is something else after this. You know what I mean? Like, okay, we could go side left bar. My parents moved us into a house that was legit haunted.
Nice.
And they knew that.
Nice.
And they knew this shit.
Do you have... Hold on. Where are we at in this? We got... You wait till we're 40 minutes into a podcast to say you lived in a haunted house.
Yeah, man, that shit was nuts too, bro.
Jesus, dude.
Gotta bring him in at the end.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, man, that could be the episode part 2 or whatever.
You're a good closer, man. But no, so when was this?
Oh, man, so we were in... Okay, so mind you, my family came from the island, and on the island of Puerto Rico, there's like Saintism practiced, back in the day, hoodoo, that kind of shit, right? So my family legit had like the third eye.
Okay.
Right? And I feel like there are always going to be skeptics, and I feel like skeptics are skeptics until they experience something.
Right.
That's really how it works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And with everything that I've seen and experienced, bruh, I go down the rabbit hole late at night on YouTube in my bed watching like videos that I try to not be able to disprove. Right?
Okay.
Because like the jinn is crazy. You know what the jinn is?
No.
It's like the Arabic, it's like a ghoul that can shapeshift.
Oh, yeah. It's spelled like G-I. Is it G-I-N? No, yeah.
D-J-I-N-N.
Yeah, that's the one.
And it's like an
That's the
evil
one.
genie type shit, but like I've seen a lot of crazy shit on YouTube that's like, I can't disprove this. You know what I mean? No matter how hard I try. And it's just crazy, man. And that's the kind of shit that leads me. Okay, so haunted house, right?
Yeah.
So this is like me during high school. And man, I always wondered why my parents, the first night we moved in, they made us bless the house, which is honestly a good thing to do anyway. Because, you know, spirits are everywhere, right? It's going to sound crazy, but they are. And places have energy, bro. If someone died in a house, they could stay there because with whatever energy you can't disperse, you keep yourself stuck like in a plane. Or you can, apparently. So, I don't know, man. And that's why I'm not too afraid to die. You know, I think a lot of us have this idea like, damn, dude, one day it's just going to be fucking done. You know, and that aspect does fucking suck about it. But I honestly feel like there's just going to be this weird transition. And really, you just go on to something completely different. So it's just like, make yourself understand that, like, okay, when this is done, it's almost like the climax of a roller coaster.
Right.
And once you take that first dip, all right, you're on to a whole new experience from this point. You know? And maybe it comes right back around when you launch and you come back in the fucking pad. Like, if you believe in reincarnation, you know, which is where a lot of people feel like deja vu comes from.
Well, you're telling me that I could haunt if I wanted to.
You really could. You really could, man. Like my dad threatened me and my brothers that if we didn't bury him with the Puerto Rican flag, he was going to haunt us. So we're going to make sure that gets done.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Because my dad was...
Dude,
yeah.
You should just bury him with like a Dominican flag and see what happens.
Oh, there's no way, man.
See what happens.
Nah, I respect my dad way too much, man.
See what happens. No, I know.
It'd be a good way to keep him around.
We're gonna find out how.
Yo, weird shit, man. With science, they're saying that now they can actually connect to the dead. Like now, like by the end of this year, they'll be able to take DNA from a deceased person.
Oh hell!
And you'll be able to fucking like somehow. I don't know what the hell's happening, bro. At this point, and again, I'm kind of like a hypochondriac too, so like I prepare for like doomsday.
Damn, son.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to grow my own vegetables and shit, which is pretty dope. You know, having a garden, I'm ready for that experience. But
Okay.
just home shit. But yeah, man, haunted house. So I'll tell you the craziest story of the haunted house. So we move into the house and we're like blessing the house with sage and shit, and we're saying prayers. And this is me in high school, and I'm like, okay, I get it because we've done this kind of thing before, but it just feels different this time. Like you guys are making it kind of extra,
Right.
right? But whatever. So we live in this house, and there's always like the sounds of shit in the kitchen, which was above my room, like the shuffling of feet and the moving of pots and pans.
Oh man.
But
that,
this
that
was
actual scary shit that's not scary, but
yeah, and this was dead ass. Me and my twin brother experienced this at the same time together. So we had a house that had a basement. It's like you come into the main door. Now imagine you come into the house, and there's a foyer, and you can go upstairs, downstairs, right? And then upstairs there's like a raised level, and downstairs goes to a basement, right? And so we're watching TV in the basement, and our rooms are at the end of the hall, which is close to the stairs by the door. I don't remember what time it was, but we go to bed, we close our doors, and as soon as we close our doors, now mind you, you could come straight out of my door and bust a U-turn to the left, and now you're going up the stairs to the foyer, and then you can go upstairs to the top level, and then when you go down the hallway, this is where my older brother's room was, and my parents' room was next to that, right? So in the scheme of the house, if we're here in a room like where we're sitting on the right side of your house, my brother's room is on the top, on the second floor, on the other side of the house. Okay.
are you just describing me a Jordan Peele movie?
No, dude, this is real life.
Okay, okay.
And so we hear, you know, when you open a door really fast, it makes a sound. It really does. It almost sounds like a woof, right? Like when,
Yeah.
is your girl ever like stormed in on you? Like just angry, you guys ever fighting, and she just opens the door quick because you've been in the room by yourself? Well,
No.
the next time you try, just open your door quick and hard, like you're angry, like you're rushing into
I
a
know
room.
it makes that windy noise.
Yes. So, okay. So we hear that from my older brother's room, and then we hear running down the hall, down the foyer steps to the basement, back up the steps, and back down the hall to his room, and we hear his door slam shut. Right? This happens as soon. So me and him, we both open our doors, and my brother's got a baseball bat in his hands. And okay, in hindsight, it wasn't a bad idea. But so we're freaked out because it happened so fast. I'm talking running down through the house, and my older brother's a big guy. He can't move that quick. In essence, no one should be able to move this quick.
Yeah.
So we walk upstairs slowly, right? Because we're like, it's like 2 a.m. We're like, what the fuck was that? We creep down the hall, right? We open my older brother's door, and he's like bear snoring, dude. Like he's knocked the fuck out. Yeah. So that was just one of many things that happened in the house.
What if all houses are haunted, just not all ghosts are dicks?
No, yeah.
Like
no,
what if
legit.
what if like the ghosts in this house just know how to close doors with a little bit of respect?
You know what? I think it's a good idea never to ever film your home,
Yeah.
because I feel like you invite that shit in. Because you really can't invite it in. Like negative shit. You know what I mean? Because it feeds on energy.
Yeah.
Because that's ultimately what it wants, right? Because life energy is a powerful fucking thing. Like,
Yeah.
scientifically, the human body is a battery that can put off massive amounts of fucking energy. Like, we should be able to be Dragon Ball Z and go Super Saiyan on some shit. If we could really tap in to what's been created, the human body is capable of so many things. So that's why I feel like that energy can't just be destroyed, man. Like, that Newton law really does hold up.
That's wild, man.
Yeah, man. But like my friends would never want to stay in my house. My brother's wife, who was his girlfriend at the time, was in the house when some shit happened. Like she heard running along the walls, and she like was like, "Nope, I'm out." Yeah, so people never like just chilling in my crib.
When I used to stay with my dad, he had when my grandpa was getting old, he had my grandpa just staying at the house with us. This was, I don't know, 10 years ago maybe. Yeah, call it 10 years ago. And my grandpa thought the house was haunted because when it was just like me and him there, I'd like run in the attic because he thought the house was haunted.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. You gave him that idea. Yo, man, I saw this crazy ass movie, which I know you haven't seen, about some shit that the life ties into the afterlife. And there was like this guy who thought he saw a ghost in his house.
Right.
But what happened was it was like himself in the future somehow. Like somehow he made his life come circular around, and the ghost in his house was himself. Some weird time shit, man. If I can find that movie, I'll let you know because it really was a trip.
Yeah. Oh, so this
A lot
was
of
just
good
like
movies
this
out
was just
there.
a fiction movie.
Yeah, this was a fiction
Okay,
movie.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know what to believe anymore. Dude. I hit this weed a couple times. You told me a firsthand ghost story.
Yeah, a lot of crazy shit, man. When my grandmother died, I was taking out the trash, and in Northern Virginia, November there is different than November here. November there is cold as fuck.
Yeah.
And November here,
Where's
it's
this
like
at?
in Woodbridge.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like even though it's just in the upper part of the state,
It's that few degrees does make a difference.
I don't know if it's something about us living by the water
Yeah, probably.
that affects the climate with us, but that's why I love it here, man. We don't really get a lot of snow.
Yeah.
You know? But anyway, so in November there, I'm taking out the trash like a week after my grandmother dies, and it's like, I don't know, 40 degrees out. I'm in a wife beater and shorts because kids are stupid. And I walk through this warm pocket of air that smells just like Bengay, which is, my grandmother smelled like Bengay.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And then I walked through this warm pocket of air and then walked out, and I'm back in the cold and was like, that's a fucking trip. You know what I mean? And I thought, okay, well, maybe my grandma was there saying what's up. But this did happen. When we go to Puerto Rico to bury my grandmother, I was staying at my mom's mother's house. She was still alive. And I had been like drawing earlier in the night, and the house was kind of slanted because it's on stilts. And I remember putting my pencil on a certain way on the table so it wouldn't roll down the table.
Right.
But I'm sleeping on the sofa in the living room, and the whole thing about that is you have to sleep with a mosquito nets in Puerto Rico, or you're gonna get fucked up, right? Ooh. So I'm sleeping, and I hear the fucking pencil like shift on the table. It's like, shh, and then it's like, clack, hits the floor, rolls down the floor, and stops in the middle of the floor, like halfway down my body as I'm laying on the sofa. And I'm looking at it. It stopped, dead stopped, and then it starts rolling again all the way to the front door. Like that shit was like, okay, how do I explain that?
Dude.
You know what I mean?
Was it this was in Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Was it, you said it was what part of the year?
Oh, no. So the November thing happened while I was living in Northern Virginia.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out if it was hurricane season.
Yeah, no, there, shit, man. Nah, we buried her like in the summer. But I've just seen a lot of shit, man, is all I'm saying. And I feel like skeptics never really get to believe until some shit happens to them, you know?
Yeah. No, for sure.
It's like aliens, man. People didn't think aliens existed until they're like, here we fucking are.
I'm pretty sure. You know what I mean? Like the whole time it's been like,
yeah,
there's too much. You know, there's so
too
much out there,
man.
That's pretty cocky to think there's nothing else.
Yeah, but
yeah, man.
There's just too much going on.
One time, I think we probably had a good wrap up time. It's about an hour.
Well, thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, man.
The Anthill Podcast. We got to do this again.
Dude, this was a lot of fun. I still have to guess your age.
Okay. Yeah.
38.
I'll be 41 this June.
Damn it.
Yeah, you were close though, man. When you said 27 and 43, I was like, that's a good range because I could see how I give off 27-year-old vibes.
Yeah.
You know, like I never grew up.
But the 27 was the socks, man.
Oh yeah, these bright ass socks.
This guy's got like cotton candy colored socks on. It's
It's from this. My boy got me. He lives in Raleigh. He lives in Wilmington, North Carolina, and these socks came from a donut shop called Wake and Bake.
oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
that
like
sounds
their
cool.
Yeah, down there, that's like their version of Duck Donuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. But
Duck
they
Donuts
name
are good.
all of their donuts after like some kind of like hash or weed strain, and they make it look really funky. Like,
That's cool. That's unique.
yeah, it was pretty dope, man.
I like stuff like that.
I was like, yeah, I'll rock these today, man. I'm a real big sock guy
Yeah.
because it's like one of the only ways I get to be snazzy. So
Hell yeah.
people dig it.
Yeah, dude. This has been a lot of fun. Tell the folks where they can follow you on
Oh
social.
man, Bayoan_Malave. That's BAYOAN_MALAVE. I got a couple big shows coming up, man, in May and June. I'll keep you guys posted on those. Kind of life changers, honestly. Hopefully.
There we go.
All right, man.
This
Thanks
has
for having
been
me.
the Anthill Podcast with Bayoan Malave.
Thanks for having me, man.
That's it.